Hip-hop was powerful, and it was raw. And back in those days, late 80s and early 90s, it was mainly New York and LA that was getting representation.
What's up? Tell them where you from. Straight out of Compton. This is my hood.
You just had a number of artists that were expressing gang life, or they were expressing their whole, maybe if they're selling drugs or whatever was the realities around their neighborhood. But that wasn't everybody. And so I speak of it from my perspective as a black person, but yeah, when there's gangster music only out there and people are always holding a gat or always, you know, disrespecting a woman or always selling drugs, then that's contributing to this long-standing imagery that we're less than, that we're not capable of other things. So there needed to be more representation, you know, from other perspectives. And the South wasn't being represented hardly at all.
Here, have $1. In fact, no, brother man, here, have 2. $2 means a snack for me, but it means a big deal to you. Be strong, serve God only. Know that if you do, beautiful heaven awaits. That's the poem I wrote for the first time. I saw a man with no clothes, no money, no plate, Mr. Wendal.
The South is complex. The South is nature, cotton fields, farming, but then also Negro spirituals. It's heavy-set women wailing gospel music. And then it's, for black people, history. The history is rich. Good, bad, ugly, and amazing.
Mr. Wendal, that's his name. No one ever knew his name, cause he's a no one. Never thought twice about spending on an old bum until I had the chance to really get to know one. Now that I know him, to give him money isn't charity. He gives me some knowledge, I buy him some shoes. And to think blacks spend all their money on big colleges, still most of y'all come out confused. Go ahead, Mr. Wendal.
There's an area here in Georgia. I used to have a studio down there, and the homeless are known to come down there a lot. And so they used to come to our studio, and instead of turning them away or feeling threatened by them, we used to invite them in and we would have talks.
Mr. Wendal has freedom, a free that you and I think is dumb. Free to be without the worries of a quick-to-diss society, for Mr. Wendal's a bum.
I think people deal with the homeless in the most raw way. And I think people deal with everyone else depending on what they can do for them. But if you feel like this person can't do anything for you, a lot of people will have more of a raw interaction with that kind of person. So the homeless that I was talking to, at least, they had experienced raw humanity in a way that was really fascinating.
His only worries are sickness and an occasional harassment by the police in their chase. Uncivilized, we call him, but I just saw him eat off the food we waste. Civilization, are we really civilized? Yes or no? Who are we to judge when thousands of innocent men could be brutally enslaved or killed over a racist grudge?
Mr. Wendal was sort of a collection of all these different guys, but Mr. Wendal actually is a willingly homeless person who decided to rebel against society. And you know, he wanted to just escape sort of the box that civilization or society sort of puts you in.
Mr. Wendal has tried to warn us about our ways, but we don't hear him talk. Is it his fault when we've gone too far and we got too far? Cause on him we've walked. Mr. Wendal, a man, a human in flesh, but not by law. I bid you dignity to stand with pride. Realize that all in all, you stand tall. Go ahead, Mr. Wendal.
I'm not saying that I necessarily would want to live like that, but I felt connected to their humanity and to their view of life, because to me, it's tapping into a very clean source of water in a sense. You know, if you found some place that was very clean water, a clean source of water, that's what I felt about being around them. It was just very pure.
Mr. Wendal, yeah, yeah, Mr. Wendal.
Hip-hop sort of prided itself prior to us in we don't sing, you know what I'm saying? Like, we rap, we don't sing. And then we come out with this sort of melodic style of rhyming. It's pulling from other influences, but it's still very much hip-hop, you know what I mean? But it's pulling from blues, it's pulling from gospel, and it's pulling from soul. That's what the South brought. And later it would bring Outkast, which brought Andre 3000. It brought CeeLo to the world. It brought, you know, there's a lot that the South brought. So yeah, I think Arrested Development in particular brought a more soulful energy to what hip-hop was. What we've achieved is what Malcolm X achieved. I'm not saying on the level, and what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. achieved, but not on that level, which is the ideals and the principles It's those types of principles that every generation from now on can grab hold to and look to a Dr. Martin Luther King speech or speeches, or a Marcus Garvey speech or speeches, or a Nelson Mandela speech or speeches, and say, yeah, that's what I want to gravitate towards, even if the whole nation or the whole world isn't always on that same level of advancement or progression. At least they, or whoever that person is, can say, yeah, that's what I gravitate towards.
Exactly.
I want to be part of that. So I feel like we're just part of a continuum. That's what I feel.